Okay, introduce yourself for me, please.
My name is Malik G. I'm the Executive Director of Silk Road Theater Project. Silk Road produces playwrights of Asian, Middle Eastern, and Mediterranean background. We've been doing this for 6 years, and we've presented playwrights from Indian background, Egyptian background, Korean, Japanese. We're working on an Israeli playwright now, Italian background playwrights. So it's really exciting to give voice to the multi-ethnic community that comprises the United States, to give an opportunity to give voice to their community.
Tell me a little bit about why the Silk Road, the definition of the Silk Road, because I know it has to do with the ethnicities that you choose.
Right. Silk Road Theater Project, we focus on playwrights of what we call Silk Road ethnicity, which stretches from Japan to Italy and all the countries in between. So it harkens back to the historic Silk Road. Two-thirds of humanity today lives in Silk Road countries. So our mission is to give voice to two-thirds of the world population.
And is there a reason why you feel that that's important, especially here in Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago is such a diverse city. And yet, when it comes to the arts, particularly live arts theater, there is very little representation of the Asian, Middle Eastern, or Mediterranean community. So it was a void in Chicago culture, and it was an opportunity to fill that void by giving authentic voices and opportunities to actors of Asian, Middle Eastern, Mediterranean backgrounds, playwrights, designers. So I think we're creating a community that feels invested in the arts rather than just a community that's doing business transactions here.
How did you get involved personally in the theater and in this type of work?
Sure. I got involved with Silk Road Theater. I'm a co-founder. So my life partner Jamil and I started the organization after 9/11. I'm Muslim American, it's Arab American, and we wanted to do something to respond to the horrific attacks of 9/11. And we felt that theater would be a good way to create bridges of understanding between communities.
That's fantastic. What about anyone who is interested in... Oh, no, tell me first. Was there any... You've had so many interesting plays and actors and people. Was there a moment or two that you would say kind of stood out for you as really kind of made you happy about why you chose what you're doing?
You know, an anecdote I like to give is from an audience person. She's a doctor, and she saw a play about a Muslim family that we had done. And after the play, she came to me and she said she loved the play, and she was so glad that she saw the play. And I said, what did you get out of this play? And she said, I learned that Muslim men love their wives. And I said, that's news to you? And she said, yeah. She had never thought they did, because her impression of the Muslim culture came from media, which doesn't really give, the human side of the community.
That's great. Now, what if there was someone who is interested in possibly doing something the likes of you're doing? What advice would you give them?
My advice is first make a lot of money. You're going to need all of it to produce theater. You're not going to make any money, and you're doing it really to create a space where communities could be understood. So your rewards are not financial. I love partnering with organizations. So anyone who wants to do this should first think about partnering with an institution that exists. In the current economic landscape, this is not the time necessarily to start new initiatives, but it is a good time to partner with institutions that are doing work that we're doing. And there are institutions across the country that are ethnic specific.
Well, you received an award recently. What was the award that...
I was really fortunate to receive the Chicago Community Trust Fellowship Award. And as a Chicago Community Trust Fellow, I have a $30,000 cash prize that's going to be applied towards education and travel. My interest is to understand what does it take for institutions of color, ethnic institutions, to be in business on a long-term basis. City of Chicago has had many theaters, Asian theaters, that have started and closed. Why do the theaters close? Why is it that they cannot be sustained? That's what I'm trying to discover through this fellowship.
How would you say, just briefly, what do you think is the key to your success with your theater company and where you come?
I think that one of the reasons why Silk Road Theater Project has been successful and has received a wide acclaim is twofold. Number one, the work is outstanding. And number two, we place great emphasis on building bridges between Silk Road and the funding community, the theater-going audience, the ethnic communities. We spend a lot of time and money on marketing and building a brand. It's a business idea, it's a business perspective, not a social perspective, on how to create an image and how to create a market. And the fact that we've been doing that is, I think, one of the reasons why we have a better reputation.
Well, that's fantastic to hear. Now, any words of advice for someone who is ready to kind of march in your footsteps?
I would say it's an amazing opportunity to contribute right now, especially in U.S. history. We're on the cusp of creating great understanding between communities. And if anyone's up to it, if people want to join the cause, they're really welcome to just dive right in.
Well, Malik, we really appreciate the time and thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely.